Hello. Come right on in. You're at Father Fish. Nice to have you with us.
Would
Like
you suggest, what would you suggest for lighting? There was an interesting thought out there about doing more intensity for less time or like a less intense light for more time.
Well, if you're talking about intense, the only light I'm aware of that is intense
Mhm.
is natural sunlight. And by that, I don't mean ambient light. I mean the light coming direct from the sun's rays, penetrating the water. That's intense light. And if a plant, a pond, a fish, a body of water, even shallow water, can tolerate the direct rays of the sun
Yeah.
12 hours a day, there's not a chance at all that you're going to have too much light going in your tank. You may not have adequate plants to deal with the the nitrates and phosphates and CO2, whatever, in your tank, but you're certainly not going to have too much light. Personally, I believe the whole conversation about lights is ridiculous. You can buy a $10 light, a $10 4-foot strip light, an LED, and put it on a 55-gallon tank. Two of them will be adequate light for that tank, more than adequate. One of them is split between a couple of 29s, and it's adequate light. Any light at all is adequate if you leave it on long enough. If um, if you have a low light source, leave it on permanently, particularly with LEDs. Low light LEDs, just never turn them off. It's
Mhm.
not going to cost you anything to do that, and it's not going to create a problem in the tank. I have probably a dozen or more tanks where the light has been on permanently in one case for 4 or 5 years, in other cases for a year or two. Um, if you start getting algae, it's because there are not enough other kinds of plants in there to compete with the algae. So get some other plants in the tank, and you won't have algae. Algae is not the first plant to grab nutrition. The higher order plants are, but if they're not in the tank, they're not going to be able to do anything. So higher order plants will do a better job than algae will of controlling nutrients in the water column. You just have to have them in the tank is all. And you have to have them in adequate numbers. I saw a tank recently. Somebody said, "How do you like this?" It was, I don't know, about a 29-gallon tank. It had two sprigs of plant in it. Two sprigs, two little tiny plants, about 6 inches. Is that enough plants? That isn't even the beginning of enough plants. Your tank should be thick with plants, thick enough that they are a significant part of the environment. You would not put one fish an inch long in a 50-gallon tank or even a 30-gallon tank. You wouldn't do it. So don't put one plant 3 inches long in a 29-gallon tank and expect you're going to achieve anything. You won't. You need to get enough plants to you don't want to glom it solid chock full, but you want enough in there so that they can begin growing. Plants grow in the presence of other plants. They do much better as a group than as an individual. If you have one plant here, one plant here, one plant here, it's a good chance they're going to die, or at least they will languish. If you put them all together, then they're going to grow. funny thing about plants. They're very social creatures. They like each other's company, and they do better in each other's company. So plant your plants by the clump. If you have a bunch that you buy, put them all in together. Don't take them apart. You can spread them a little, but put them all in together. Get bunches of them going. It's kind of the Dutch system. You want groups of plants, not individual ones kind of spread out. They don't get COVID. They don't need 6 feet of separation.
Well, I hope you found something you've never seen before. Have a great day. Nice to have you with us. Come on back.